In Grand Theft Auto 5, there are a total of 6 heists throughout the entire story, 7 if you include the prologue, with only 4 of them featuring different approaches. But what approaches are considered to be a part of the game's canon? At the end of the game, we all know that we're given the choice between option A, B, or C, with only one of those serving as the game's true canon ending. But with the heist, some people are still debating over what options are considered to be canon to the overall story. So in this video, we'll uncover the canon approach for every GTA 5 heist and the reasoning behind them. If you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We've just crossed over the 50k mark, so we're officially at the halfway point to the ultimate goal of 100k. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. We'll begin with the jewel store. Michael sets up this heist as a way to repay his debt that he owes to Martin Madrazo after pulling down a house that he thought belonged to Amanda's tennis coach. The two options presented to us are the loud approach, which, as the name suggests, you go in loud, you force people onto the ground, smash open the glass, and steal all the jewels. The other option being the smart approach, which has the crew pose as Bugstar employees. Franklin is tasked with climbing onto the rooftop, throwing gas into the store's air vent, and knocking out everyone inside, allowing the crew to clean out the store quietly. Regardless of what approach you picked, the escape will play out the same, with the crew fleeing on motorbikes through the underground sewer network, surfacing in the LS River before loading the bikes into the back of a truck and getting away. So what approach is considered to be part of the game's story? This is something that would be largely speculated up until the release of the Diamond Casino heist during the Big Con approach. If you select the Bugstar disguise as part of your approach, Lester will mention that he's done something similar.
Sometimes you just gotta fall back on the hits. I ever tell you about the time we pulled something similar to take down a jewel store and, no, should probably shut up about that one.
So based on that dialogue, we can confirm that the canon approach during the jewel store is the smart approach. Up next, we have the Merryweather Heist. Unlike the jewel store, this job isn't motivated by financial debt. Instead, it's just one of Trevor's crazy plans to take a score. After Michael faked his death and did a heist without him, he owes it to Trevor to play along and help him with his plan. During the Merryweather Heist, Trevor aims to steal one of Merryweather's top secret devices. He's been able to track down 2 of them, one of them being located on a freighter in the port of LS and the other being tested offshore. This gives the player a choice between what approach they'd rather take. The first choice being the freighter, which has Franklin positioned on the bridge, providing cover for Michael while he climbs aboard the ship to plant explosives. After Michael jumps into the water and detonates the explosives, Trevor recovers the cargo in a submarine. As for the other approach, we take a submarine offshore to where Merryweather are running their tests and locate the device underwater. After stealing the device, regardless of what choice we made, Lester will arrive to tell us to return the device as it's a highly dangerous super weapon. Trevor refuses to give up his score, but Michael promises that they'll find another job for him. The canon approach for this heist is considered to be the freighter approach. The heist was initially planned to be called the Port of LS Heist before it was changed to the Merryweather Heist. If the player selects the offshore approach, the in-game news still reports that there was an attack on a freighter.
Weasel News.
Container ship sinks in the port of South Los Santos.
Witnesses describe a scene of chaos in Los Santos Harbor earlier, as several explosions could be seen on board a container ship, which subsequently sunk into the harbor.
Later on in the mission, the wrap-up, Dave Norton mentions that Trevor has robbed Merryweather's trains, planes, and boats.
What are Merryweather doing at this party? You tell me. You're the one hitting their planes, trains, and boats.
And if you hang out with Michael, Franklin, and Trevor after completing the final mission, the trio look back on the scores that they took, with Trevor mentioning the operation Merryweather were running out of the port of LS.
We did it, guys. You gotta say we did it. That we did.
The Union Depository, we did it big, homies.
And Blaine County Savings and Loan and the Operation Merryweather was running out the port of LS.
That didn't turn out so good. We didn't get paid on that.
The story's enough.
So based on this information, we are able to confirm that the freighter approach is considered to be the canon choice for the Merryweather heist. Moving on to the Bureau raid. At this point in the story, Michael is stuck working for the FIB and they ask him to do another job by breaking into the FIB headquarters and recovering incriminating evidence against Steve Haynes and Dave Norton. In return, they promise to delete all the files they have on Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. We need to access the server room, which is located on the top floor of the FIB building. The first approach involves us planting bombs while posing as a janitor, janitor. Then after leaving the building and triggering the explosives, the crew arrive disguised as firemen, making their way to the top floor to recover the hard drive. The other approach involves parachuting in from a helicopter and gaining entry from the roof. Once they cut through the glass and climb inside, they start hacking into the server terminal, deleting all the files while fighting off the FIB. To find out what option is considered canon, we have to take a look back on the setup. During the setup mission cleaning out the bureau, Michael and Lester talk about how the FIB will likely kill him after this is done, and suggest that while he's inside, Michael should erase the files that Steve is using as blackmail against the protagonist, which is something that only happens during the roof approach.
So what do you think about this whole messed up situation?
I think they'll either kill you after this is done, or keep you doing these stupid jobs until they don't have to kill you because someone else has done it for them.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So what do we do?
Oh, what can we do? We do the job. And maybe you can delete the files when you're inside doing whatever else you're doing. That might be a way out.
Yeah, well, a way out is exactly what I need.
While planning the heist, Lester mentions that to gain access into the building, Michael would need to pose as a janitor and mop floors to be able to plant the bomb, which is an idea that Michael doesn't seem too interested in, as he favors the roof approach and would rather not risk being ID'd.
You mop the place and plant the bombs where we need them.
Seriously? I got a mop?
During their escape, Michael ends up shooting down a buzzard that was piloted by an FIB agent, and if we take a look at the mission to wrap up, Steve Haynes' anger towards Michael makes a lot more sense knowing that he killed one of his agents and deleted the files, which would mean that Steve can no longer blackmail Michael into working for him. The final piece of evidence that points towards the roof approach being canon is in GTA Online during the data recovery mission, where Franklin talks about how he made the FIB his bitch a long time ago.
You break into the FIB, find the server stacks for their mass surveillance program, stick a thumb drive in one of them to give me remote access, and don't get caught. Then I can get a full data signature and track any copies that got made.
I made the FIB my bitch a long time ago.
And the mission itself is heavily inspired by the roof approach. Cut the glass and access the server room, which leads me to believe that the Canon approach is considered to be the roof entry. Last but not least, we have the big score. Michael, Franklin, and Trevor plan to rob the Union Depository, which would go down as the biggest heists of their careers. The two approaches we have for this one are subtle and obvious. Subtle has the crew hijack the group's X vans, using them to gain entry into the Union Depository, collecting the gold and leaving with it in the vans. They end up transferring the gold to the gauntlets while defending the area, escaping onto the freeway and loading the cars into the back of two trucks. The alternative option is called the obvious approach. The crew splits into two groups. One will be focused on causing a distraction of the surface, while the other team drills a hole underground directly leading to the vault. Once the gold has been wheeled out, it's hooked onto helicopters and flown to the drop-off. This is the only heist in the game that doesn't have a definitive answer when it comes to what the canon choice may be. The only thing that points towards the subtle approach being canon is that regardless of what option you pick, the characters will always unlock the Group X uniform after that heist, but it isn't enough evidence to confirm that it's part of the game's canon. At the end of the day, Rockstar have designed these heists to give us the freedom to choose how we want to play them without locking us into a definitive path. The canon approaches aren't something that's ever explicitly spelled out for us. We can only use these clues that I've shown throughout the video to make predictions and come up with our own canon choices. Without a doubt, there are things that point towards the other approaches as canon, so I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you did enjoy the video, then it might be worth checking out my other videos where I dive into the GTA characters and other Rockstar universe lore. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.